Exactly 6 minutes gone past the hour of 9 on the AM side. How you feeling this morning? Okay, got around because it's time for us to sit as a family and, of course, hold our own session as we go talking politics and current affairs, because this is what this time out is allotted. My name is Uduak Daniel, and let's get to talk about a couple of things that's been going on. I mean, you and I know the fact that we've just had the 14th Pope, right? For the global scene, and he's in the person of Pope Leo the 14th, is His Holiness. That's what it is. And with this new arrival, this new unveiling, quite a number of people, not just in Nigeria now, across the world, are beginning to sniff, to perceive, to smell a change. I mean, I know that it is the Tinubu-led administration mandate, the renewed hope agenda. Maybe, just maybe, the renewed hope, indeed, will spread, having seen a new pope established, in his office and all of that. But then, when we also look on the flip side, the killings and as well as matters that concern what the DHQ said, trying to justify the perpetrators of the heinous crime of terrorism in our dear country, especially within the northern region, saying it is a foreign herders due to porous borders that we have. That's how they've had an influx into these states of Nigeria, and they've wreaked havoc. And it makes quite a number of Nigerians wonder, is that really the solution? Why you keep telling us the problems when you're not telling us the solution? What are you doing about it is what we are asking. But then if you also put all of these together and you look at the spate of defections here and there, the question has always been asked, who are those benefiting from defection? Is it you or the masses? I remember just, is it the you or the politicians? I remember just recently, of course, is it during this week now, or was it last week? That question was asked, and family members, everybody totally said it was the politicians because of their selfish interest, but then, of course, they use us as their political human shields, and say it is because of the masses that they are indeed defecting to another political name, because it has been registered that, look, there's no ideology, and that's why it's quite laughable, especially when we hear the governor of Anambra State, Soludo, saying that ABGA aligning with the APC because of due to the ideologistic lines. It makes you wonder what ideology exactly, when even people of repute, as well as Nigerians, as well as stakeholders, as well as political observers, as well as lawyers, people saying there's no ideology. Because if there was a clear-cut ideology, you would not see this very, very childish defections here and there that you're seeing. I mean, it didn't start from this administration, though. So when I talk, I don't think it's about the Tinubu-led administration. I'm talking about the administration ever since we got our independence. It has always been anywhere where Bele face. It has always been the place where they favor you. That's how it's always been. Selfish, personal gains. But then how have these things also affected you and I? It has affected you and I because of the fact that poverty, a place where all of these anomalies seem to trend, poverty becomes the bane of it. It becomes a common denomination. I mean, the issue of poverty in Nigeria is a pressing concern. It does require a multifaceted approach. Let me fill you in on some informational reports now. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, I beg your pardon, they put poverty levels in Nigeria have been rising, according to them. They've said that. And it has risen with significant percentage of the population living below the poverty line. However, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has also emphasized the need for a grassroots approach to addressing poverty, highlighting the importance of community-focused initiatives. Now, that's what he said. Now, the online debate on poverty alleviation in Nigeria, it has been ongoing, with various stakeholders coming out to call for more comprehensive approach to addressing the issue, right? And now, reports reaching us from our correspondents shows that the House of Representatives Committee on Community and Social Development Agency, NG Cares, was inaugurated to recommend policies and programs aimed at tackling development challenges in rural rural suburban stations or areas. Now, the World Bank has also expressed concerns about Nigeria's poverty situation, highlighting the poverty rate expected or estimated to have reached 38.9% in 2023, with approximately 87 million Nigerians living below the poverty line. And it has placed us in the world global map. We are the second largest poor population globally after India. And then it will surprise you to know that some persons will still come up here and say, after all, we are not the first now, we are only the second. So it means that the other countries have also been ravaged by poverty. So why don't we ever compare ourselves with countries that are doing better, so that we can look up to these countries and say, okay, this is what we are learning or seeing from them. We should get ourselves better. We should formulate new policies. We should probably tweak our constitution, or probably crumble the constitution and rebuild it from the scratch, where everybody will come to a place of cognition, agreement. And in the end, we will shake hands and say, well, we have come together to make this agreement, and we are contented with what it is, the aftermath of this agreement. So we can live peacefully, know our boundaries, and at the same time respect our diversity. There's no gainsaying that we have had our challenges. Years of slow growth and high inflation, they've contributed to high poverty and hardship levels in this country. Issues like banditry, kidnappings, insurgency, terrorism, separatist agitations, all of these, they exacerbate the situation. There is also the place of weak job creation and entrepreneurial, prospects, hindering the absorption of the 3.5 million Nigerians entering the labor force annually. 3.5 million Nigerians are going into the labor force with nothing. Now, don't tell me that Nigerians are not willing to work. Oh no, we are. We are not lazy people. But the question now is, where are the jobs? But then again, do you wait and say, oh, the jobs has to come before I get to work? Federal government has to give me a job first? No. What idea do you have? No matter how little have you started something just yet? But then questions also will arise. Do I have the capital to start? Do I have the conducive environment to start? Will I also gain support and assistance, maybe through loans and grants, to sustain what I've started? Others have suggested that, hey, vocational studies should be a part and parcel of the education structure that we have in this country, and that the education itself, or the education sector, must be overhauled. And the idea of literacy must be revisited. The idea of literacy, it must be revisited. So, just recently too, again, today on the front page of Nigerian newspapers, we have seen where Nigeria is also, I'll have to recheck it just to be sure, so I get to put out the wrong, figures now. But the truth is, we are looking to another loan from the World Bank, about 230 something million or billion US dollars now as loan. And what is this loan about, you ask me? Oh, it is about reaching out to a population of Nigeria who are deemed to be in need, in crisis, critical condition. You might want to term them the poorest of the poor, right? So they can get grants. So that's what we are looking at now. That's what that loan is going to be is about, actually. So we're looking to the World Bank again and asking for yet another loan. Just when we're about to celebrate, oh, we have paid off the other loan and all of that, we are looking to collect more. How is that helping us, though? Some question, right? But yes, it is what it is in our dear country, Nigeria. And some would say, have we really learned our lessons just yet? Well, let's connect with our guest already. He is in the person of Sir Benedict Olalekan. He's an information professional, policy and public affairs analyst. Hello, good morning to you, Sir Benedict. Hello? Hello? Okay. I don't know, for some reason, Sir Benedict, we are not really hearing ourselves. We can't hear us now. Well, I'll try to put you through or put you on in a short bit again. Yeah, but while we are on it, very, very important for us to note the fact that we've enjoyed World Bank support. Now, the World Bank is supporting the Nigerian government's efforts to implement targeted temporary cash transfers. Oh, that's what it was called, cash transfers, to aid the poorest households. I mean, the bank is also working with Nigeria to pursue bold reforms such as eliminating gasoline subsidies and unifying the exchange rate to re-establish macroeconomic stability and growth. The World Bank has invested about 12.12 billion US dollars in financing for projects focusing on human capital, and has invested in education and healthcare to harness Nigeria's demographic dividend. Talking about job creation, promoting, economic transformation and diversification, fragility reduction, that is building resilience and reducing insecurity, and public sector strengthening, improving governance and public service delivery. But if I ask you, in all honesty, have you seen any changes in any of these that I've mentioned now? The cash transfers has gotten to you. Okay, maybe you're not the poorest of the poor, so it's excusable. The economic reforms. All right, you and I know what's going on with the economy already. Are we having a microeconomic stability and growth? When we talk about the projects right now, how much of these projects or how many of these projects are really, 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 really attending or making the life bearable, so to speak? But then there'll be arguments that says, hey, it's not just short term. Why, when you talk about projects, why do you restrict it to short term? We are doing long term projects. Human capital investing in education and healthcare to harnessing Nigeria's demographic dividend. Oh yeah, education sector, you know where we are at. Can we count ourselves among the first 50 universities now in the world? Even in Africa, can we? Where are we? Where are we actually? But then it also goes to the place of showing that Nigeria has a significant malnutrition crisis, and that is approximately 2 million children suffering from severe acute malnutrition. Now, this number is the second highest globally, according to the UNICEF. Additionally, about 37% of children under 5 years old in Nigeria are stunted due to chronic malnutrition. Listen to that, chronic malnutrition, right? Of course, that is translated to around 6 million children. So we are, based on ranking, Nigeria has the second highest number of children with SAM. That's right. That is the severe acute malnutrition worldwide. Stunting, of course, 6 million Nigerians or 6 million children under 5 years old. 37% of this age group are affected due to chronic malnutrition. And then, of course, 2 million children affected, with only 2 out of every 10 children receiving treatment. That's for the severe acute malnutrition. Hello. Well, good morning to you, Sir Benedict.
Good morning.
Yes, it feels good to connect with
Sorry,
you.
the
Yes,
network has been acting up.
that's what we have. That's what we find in this country Nigeria now. We are hoping that things will get better, but understandably so. Welcome aboard, still. Now we have been ranked the second when it comes to ranking. We are the second highest number of children with severe acute malnutrition, and then of course, if you also look at it from the global scene, I think after India, we are also holding on to second position, second largest poor population globally after India. And we're looking at grassroots approach to poverty alleviation in Nigeria, and this is credited to Tajuddin Abbas, who happens to be the Speaker of the House of Representatives, emphasizing that the need for a grassroots approach to addressing poverty is highlighting the importance of community-focused initiative. Does this mean that we've not had community-focused initiative before? And how far has these community-focused initiative gone in ensuring that our lot as Nigerians is indeed improved and that we get better? If you were to size this up, what comes to you?
Well, what will come to me is, over time, we've had so much movement with little progress, both in the urban and in the rural area. Now, basically, we would always say, in the modern world, when you are solving problems, you need to define your process, you need to define the people that will be involved, and of course you need to look at what technology can you put in place to help. Now, infrastructure wise, we are at a disadvantage across the nation. Whether you live in the city or you live in the village, we're both in FCT at the moment, and we are finding it difficult to communicate even on the telephone. So you can imagine the hundreds of thousands of villages in Nigeria without any telephone access at the moment. We need not deceive ourselves. A huge space of our land are still not covered by telecommunication facilities in any form. So no phone, no internet. That's one. Of course, we need to look at electricity penetration. Yes, it is epileptic where you have it, but some also don't have it at all. So if we are going to be able to begin to talk about grassroots development, like I would always insist, we need to see our roadmap on off-grid electricity connection. The barbers in the village, the woman who needed to dry his pepper should possibly, even if you will need to pay a token, there should by now be some form of dryers, solar-powered dryers, that the villagers can take their pepper to instead of waiting for the sun and the rain and the element of weather, and then they have the pepper properly dried and properly preserved. But such are not in place. So you need to look at things and processes that are inclusive. It's not about throwing money. When you throw money at the process, some middlemen in the city are likely going to hijack the money. The money will get to the village on paper, but will not get there in reality. Now, one of the things I used to know in some survey, when you talk to some foreigners in the past, is the fact that there used not to be food poverty in the villages of Nigeria. So when you come to food security, our villages used to be more resilient and stronger than the cities.
But now is it the same thing?
Unfortunately, the case is no longer the same.
Right.
Everything has been affecting all of us. We possibly have relied on importation of certain materials even more than what we produce locally. So what do we need to go for to do going forward? Number one, you need more infrastructure in terms of road and rails to give the people access, because some of the things that have affected production apart from security is storage. When you produce and at the peak time people buy it at any price, you end up being discouraged. You don't want to produce more the next season. You just want to do enough for you and your family. But where there is access road, where there are infrastructure and you are sure you can sell whatever you produce, I think that more people will get into production. And the more those who get into production are getting it, there are people without land, they work as laborers. But if the man is thinking of subsistence farming, he doesn't need to hire labor. But where he's guaranteed the market, there will be people who come in to work as labor, they will earn their money, they will earn their bills, and so at that level, they will meet their own needs. So we are connected and we are dependent. We are not as independent as some people may want to think. So for that reason, we need to do things and make sure it percolates. Like I said, you don't need to reach the individual. Just construct the road through a bush, and then you will know that there are people who have land in that bush and who have plantain to sell and who can do a whole lot of other noble and good things. The creativity in Nigeria is not limited, but we need the electricity. Like I said, go to the villages, let's power them with off-grid. Let's subsidize the solar panel. Let's ensure that this battery can be produced locally so that the prices and the turnaround time becomes much lower. So if we work at electricity, if we work at roads, if we work at healthcare infrastructures, healthcare facilities, you will discover that we are going to be able to mitigate the issues of poverty from the grassroots.
Right.
And then when you are coming up with national programs, our programs should be inclusive, the processes should be well defined, and we've got to be fair with them. So it shouldn't be for party leaders and their cronies, it should be fairly for all.
Okay.
And then when you look at the nation broadly, one of the problems we have had is the issue of lack of merit. Now, please take note here. I am for quota and I will continue to insist. I don't have anything against for representation. But the representation from each of the state and the local government should be the best from the state and the local government. Not that you go and bring just anybody in the name of representation. Because in the end, if you bring anybody, if you come in anyhow, it will go anyhow. And when it goes, and you are now counting population, you will say you are not represented. No. Sometimes it is because you brought the person who cannot compete. So in whatever exercise we are doing, if it is by state or by local government or by ward, let's be sure that merit at that level place. Don't come and pitch a candidate from Anambra against a candidate from Sokoto. No. Let Sokoto bring out their best. Let Anambra bring out their best, not just any candidate. In that order, you are going to begin to be sure that you are getting results. If you go to school with people in the same area, you know yourself from school, you know who can do what. And if the best among you get appointed, it will be stupid for anybody to talk down on that person. All of you see him as your hero and you want to support him to do well. And in that process, we get results. But when you pick the worst in the class, every other person in the class wants him to fail to prove that he was actually the worst. And so, when they are working against that individual, they will think they are working against somebody who was wrongly picked in their locality, but is representing the nation. If he fails, the nation has failed. So I think that the issue of merit, the issue of fairness, the issue of spread should be engaged in all that we do.
Right. Okay, well, we'll just put it back to your thoughts. Go pay some bills and, of course, get to hear from family members. Give us what they think about, this conversation and all of that. What should be the next move? Are we really pointed in the right direction, looking into programs and policies, and what kind of policies should indeed be brought about, especially in the light of the fact that we are in the wake of is it getting a loan now from the World Bank yet again, after some had already begun to celebrate the fact that we have paid off some of our loans, as is it with the IMF now. But yeah, we're here again. We are with the World Bank saying, okay, we'll get another loan from you, and it is really something to tinker on. Well, we'll get back with you in a short bit, so you can also leave your final thoughts in the discourse. But first, let's go pay some bills and then hear from the family members. Don't go away.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Introducing the Mark Homes Limited, your partner in real estate, committed to turning your dream homes into reality. Now selling the Mark Royal Estate, a premium mixed-use development by the train station in Kagini, Abuja. Residential plots, commercial spaces, and top-tier infrastructure, all in one vibrant location. Coming soon in Gwarimpa, the Mark Mall, a bold commercial hub designed for visibility, accessibility, and long-term value. Visit us today at Suites 14, 15, and 16, God's Own Plaza, number 4, Takum Street, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. Log on to www.themarkprojects.com or call 070-7921-9075. The number again, 070-7921-9075. The Mark Homes Limited, turning your dream homes into reality.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Meet the Infinix Note 50 series, defined by pioneers who push boundaries. Its ultra-resilient armor alloy metal frame design gives you that slick, top-notch style. Unlock efficiency with intelligence of the one-tap Infinix AI and circle to search anything on your phone with Google. Need power in a flash? 90 watts fast charge rockets you from 0 to 100% in 38 minutes. Exclusive deals at authorized stores. Get your Note 50 now. The Infinix Note 50 series. Pro design, pro AI.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Oh yeah, now logistics. Oh yeah, now logistics. 1, 2, 3. You want order food? Oh yeah, now. Straight to your doorstep. We dey come. One pick up something. Oh yeah, now. Or drop off something. We dey come. Maybe you need help for shopping. Oh yeah, now. Direct from your favorite. We dey come. You want order your cooking gas. Oh yeah, now. Direct to your doorstep. We dey come. We dey run massive discount. Oh yeah, now. Just place your order now. We dey come. We dey run free delivery when you order. Oh yeah now.
Hurry now and download Oya Now app on the Google Play Store or Apple Store. You can also visit us at www.oyanow.ng or call us on 080 84 10 1000 or 081 2355 4000. We are available in Lagos and Abuja. We are now with the call.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
All right, welcome back right there, and thank you for staying with us right there. This is Eagles Outlook, and today we are looking at something very, very particular. Grassroots approach to poverty alleviation in Nigeria. Quite a number of people are saying that if we must indeed alleviate ourselves from poverty, especially given the statistics from the NBS as well as the World Bank, that it would be very necessary for us to take it from the place of grassroots. And when you talk grassroots, you're talking local government. The communities must be actively involved. And should there be any sort of palliative, it must indeed get to the hands of those whom the palliative is meant. All right, but then the World Bank has disbursed an additional, all right, the World Bank has disbursed an additional 215 million US dollars to Nigeria under the 800 million US dollars National Social Safety Net Program Scale Up. All right, now that's bringing the total amount released to 530 million US dollars. Now the program aims to provide conditional cash transfers to Nigeria's poorest and most vulnerable citizens, and is supposed to cushion the impact of economic shocks. Now, in case you missed it, let me roll out the key points again. Total disbursements as right now is 530 million US dollars out of the 800 million US dollars. Remaining amount is 207 million US dollars. Program objective is meant to be a conditional cash transfer to vulnerable citizens. And if you ask me, I'm wondering who is not a vulnerable citizen in Nigeria now. But anyways, there has been some sort of implementation challenge. One of such would be delays. Of course, another would be corruption, allegations, and mismanagement. If I am not mistaken again, the United States to a particular country in Africa had decided that they will cut by half the assistance that they gave to that country. I think it's Zambia. They will cut by half the assistance that they gave, saying that the initial assistance that they gave has been looted, and that until the Zambian government identifies those who looted it, they will cut it, whatever aid they gave to Zambia, by half. And some are also saying, what if they brought that same policy, talking about the World Banks and the IMF, and they say, you know what, Nigeria, you've said you wanted this and all of that, we will come and inspect. Is it not our money, we borrowed you? Okay, we'll come and see how it goes. If we discover that corruption is taking over and there's embezzlement, there will be this penalty, that penalty, and this penalty. Maybe that will work, don't you think? But well, let's get to hear from you. What do you think about this? How can we indeed ensure that these monies are used for the purpose that they are meant? And how can we also ensure that we take ourselves out of the woods, especially when it comes to the fact that we are the second highest when it comes to poverty, right? We are like number 2, and that will be just after India, the second largest poor population globally after India. 0907 353 0044 is that number to call. The other number is 0908 766 8888. And the WhatsApp portal number is 0909 705 4450. Have we done enough? Have we done enough just yet to ensuring that things change in this country? Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Elder Onaja.
Welcome aboard, Elder Onaja. Talk to us 1 minute if you can, please.
Yeah, you see, a corrupt government. The honest people in those countries, they are great enemy to the stupid. Borrow. Government borrow. Come to this government. When they remove the petrol subsidy, they say they are not going to borrow. Now they are still borrowing. Where are we heading to? And then the country borrowing there, instead of them to come and monitor the money they are using in this country here. They don't monitor it. If they borrow it now, you hear say they went to buy car for themselves, they went to do this and for themselves. And then the common people, they are not enjoying it. I went those people propaganda this government to support this government to tell Danoja. This is where this government comes to power. Which of common person ever enjoy from them? All what they supposed to do is they hack it everywhere. We get nothing from them. Now they are carrying us to go and borrow money again. The one where they borrow from China is there. The one where they borrow from the World Bank is there. IMF, they are going to another again. The politicians, I don't know the type of heart they get to go and borrow that money again. And then this will happen anything in the common person in Nigeria. I want somebody to call to tell me whatever the poor man gets from this government. Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Appreciate that one, Elder Onaja, right there. Giving his 2 cents. What will be your 2 cents in the discourse this morning? 0907 353 0044 is that number to call. Taking this call already now. Hello, good morning.
My brother.
Yes, good morning to you, please.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
All right. My name is Princess Amazing Grace Gold. I'm calling from Ibasama. Ibasama is in Apo, here in Abuja.
Awesome.
I really want to contribute. I love your voice and I love your station, Eagle. Thank God and grace you more.
Appreciate.
In Jesus' name, amen.
All right.
Now, talking about grassroots. You know, Nigerians, we are very good with fumbling. We don't usually look inside. Are you with me?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Talking about, I'm from Calabar, I'm from Cross River State, I'm from Adim, I'm from Yata, local government. Now, where I come from, we don't complain. We make things happen. Now, people were complaining about the passenger government, complain of almost every government now is like about government. No. What the government should do should be security, mainly. Now, this policy that I've just been, granted by the president, talking about banning external consumption of services, is to our own good. And when I mean our, the grassroots. Okay. Let's go to farm. Let's go to produce those products that will give us income. I'm from Calabar, I'm from Kosovo, I'm from Biate, I'm from Adim. I have a farm, cassava farm, rice farm. Over there, not because I have all the millions. I stay in Abuja here. I live in my own house. Simply because I'm not complaining, joining the folk of Nigeria to complain, but to do the right thing. But in the side of government, let them provide security for those of us who want to make life work. So that's my contribution. Go back to what you have in your area. It could be cocoa that people can consume. Let the government produce or provide for us security. That is what we should do. Let's stop complaining. All those psychophonic talking on radio really irritate. Put your hands into the floor and walk. When you're working for somebody, be sincere, be honest. Push the person forward, you also go forward. You push your nation down, you go down. So I stop here for today. I've been enjoying your program. Let's go to work. Stop the complaint. Stop, talking about the government bad. When you talk bad about them, you're wearing them. Rather, use good to make them feel better. Even if they are bad, in the course of you doing good, we doing good, doing the right thing, they will learn from us. I hold my peace right here. That is what I have for Abuja. Good morning.
Appreciate. Good morning to you, though. All right, the princess now has spoken. She's saying that, hey, put your hands up, do the needful, do the work. Enough of the talk. We should be more of the work, and don't really bother about what the government, but the government is supposed to be basically looking to security, and if the government can just do that, I mean, What excuse do you have? I'll just try to take this one in very, very quickly. 30 seconds, 30 seconds now. Please go ahead, Elder.
Point of order, please. Point of order, please.
Go ahead. 30 seconds.
I have tracked Nigeria in capacity, high capacity in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I know what is coming. Two, the Nigeria where there's no spirit in the farm, where they are stealing my people every day. We are talking about going back to farm. The politicians, they have nothing to give Nigeria. Anybody when talk about the politicians that they this and this, we only tell the government where you listen. Advise the government to way out.
Elder.
They don't listen to us.
Okay.
Coming to say that Nigeria are ever lazy. Especially the way goes from Cross River State. No Cross River forever lazy. But when they have nothing, if they don't give anything, they don't give them enable to do the business where they want to do. Everything petrol price. From the summer, come to Dubai here now. It's almost 2,000 naira. How do you think they are going to operate? We are talking to the government, talk to the government, let them know how to manage Nigeria. Thank you very much. God bless.
Appreciate that one, Elder, right there. Says, hey, as much as you say, let's go do the work and everything, it still boils down, or everything still comes to the table of the government. The government needs to do something, and it needs to show commitment to service. Well, I'm afraid we cannot go any further right now. I really wish that we could, but time is not on our side. Another programming awaits. But we will indeed get conversational at the 10 o'clock hour for the general open banter. I know time is really, really short. Apologies, but don't worry about it. The little times that we have, we will make sure that we do the most and use it to the best that we can. Speaking truth to power is not the issue, all right? It is your right. It is your constitutional right. But then doing it within the ambits of the law, as well as within the place of civility and responsibility, is what differentiates you and I from some of these cronies who indeed parade themselves as leaders. My name is Udwak Daniel, and apologies to my guest who cannot get back with you, but you said, the bulk of it, and I am also sure that those who are indeed in the capacity of giving feedback to government will indeed pick this message and do the needful, because time is not our friend, honestly.